Shalom, Israel. I wanted to make a video based off of something I heard the other day on YouTube, and it inspired me to ask the question, Israel, what have you been feeling in the air for these past days, for these past months? And why I'm asking the question is because I've asked myself the question recently, and I'm just asking, what have you been feeling when you walk outside? When you first wake up in the morning, when it's quiet, no disturbances, no technology, no devices, you're just sitting alone by yourself, like, what do you feel, Israel? And why I'm asking this question also is because I feel in between two feelings, which is good and which is bad. And maybe I should ask more like, what do you feel is coming? Do you feel something coming, and does it feel like it is good, or do you feel like it is bad? And what I mean by bad is the feeling that I'm getting is a feeling of doom. Like, I don't know if it's doom or destruction. And it's something that seems like it's going to make a change, a momentous change, something that's, is going to change, to something different, like a complete shift in the world. And I don't know how to explain it, but it seemed like something maybe abnormal is going to happen, something that's unusual, like a whole total different shift. And I don't know whether to pinpoint that as like the natural disasters that's been happening, and maybe something else crazy is going to happen, like really big tsunami, earthquake, I don't know, or a flood. But I have that feeling. But also, I think more stronger even than that is the feeling of, do you ever feel like, us as Israel is getting ready to return home? Or do you feel like you're going to see, someone who passed walking the streets? That kind of feeling is what I'm getting, like something like odd. Or do you even believe that, people as blacks, we are going to be driven out of here into our own place? Or we're going to be forced to go somewhere else? I don't know. And I am not trying to push it. I'm not trying to talk on uncomfortable, subjects. But this is really a feeling that I've been having. And I'm just curious, like, what have been your feelings? And that can be a negative or a good thing in some cases of what I'm feeling. Like, if we were, able to go to, Israel, I would be so happy, if it was that time of deliverance. But I don't know what it is. It's just like a big shift. But I guess my main feeling would be like, I feel like a destruction is going to pour down, and it's going to destroy a lot of people. Like, that's what I feel like. Something really weird is about to take place, and it's going to cause a shift. Like, whatever this destruction is going to make a way for God's people. That's what I feel. And also what I feel is a good feeling. And I haven't been not feeling this for a while, but right now I feel this good feeling of, like, God, is one window, one bright window. And if you miss out, if that window closes on you, that is it. If the curtains close, that is done. And that's what I feel. Like, you only have one chance to get through this opportunity, this window, whatever it is. And that's what I feel in my life, Israel. I don't know if it's just for me or if everyone's feeling it, or if it's for even if it's just me, I don't know if I'm feeling it about Israel in general or the whole world. But I feel like this one window, and God is really close to blessing us. God is really close to giving us something really great. Like, the door is about to be open to some surprise, to something that's really great. But I feel like if I mess up right now, Israel, or if we mess up, we are not going to be able to get through this. And that's what I feel in my lifetime. In my life, that's how I feel. And, Israel, for some months now, I have not been having any, feeling like this. I have not been having any inspiration come to me, really. Not so strong, not in this area. And Israel, I don't know about how it is with you, but at least I can speak for myself. Whether you believe it or not, I know how it works with me. Usually, and this is my personal belief, I believe that I usually get some sort of inspiration from God. And that doesn't mean I hear God speaking. That doesn't mean I see him. That doesn't mean that I'm a prophet, a prophetess, which don't exist. And I don't believe in any of that, like as in like that I am that. No. But I do believe that God gives people inspiration, even through dreams. And for me, Israel, that is my sign. I get signs through a lot of dreams, and sometimes just a mere feeling. In Israel, that's how a lot of times, to me, it is like a warning before a destruction or a warning before anything happens. That's how I always look out for them. It's through my dreams. It's through, sometimes I'll just wake up with a sudden heavy feeling on me like, do this or do that or this is going to happen. If I do not obey that voice, something happens to me or something happens bad in general. And sometimes it's the smallest voice, just a little bit out there, like, do this or don't do this. And when I don't listen to that voice, it's just a voice that just went in one ear and went out. But if I don't listen to that, then Israel, at least in my life, it seemed like a big punishment for me. Something happens that, if I would have done this situation would have been avoided. And I don't know if you ever felt that in your life, but I have plenty of times. And so now when I get it, even if, it sounds crazy, even if it is not even befitting to the situation, if even I believe God is telling me to tell people a certain thing, like to watch out for this, don't do this at this moment, I try to make it a point to just go ahead and say it. Now, sometimes, yes, I do have a fear, like, okay, I don't know how people are going to look at me. I don't know if I'm just going to start a problem through this, or people's going to look at me like I'm crazy, like, okay, what are you talking about? Like, everything's okay. But if something is telling me that it's not okay, and I would assure you as well that if you get any feeling like that, don't matter if it's something told you to inside yourself, like, hey, to tell a kid, don't go to school today. If something come to your head and say, hey, don't go to work today. I feel something. Sometimes you got to listen to that voice. But, of course, don't over listen to it. Like, you don't become superstitious either. Or every little thing, you're scared of. Or, don't do this at this hour or this will happen. Because we can't make predictions. Or we can't say this is so and this is going to happen. And the only one who can protect us is God at the end of the day. Even if this person decides to not listen and go out anyway to work. But our duty is to warn, and if God is putting it on your heart, I'm sorry, I believe you should do that. We can't fear people more than we fear God, and that's what I'm learning in my life, is that, I might be scared, but at the end of the day, I'm going to fear God more than I'm going to fear anybody and what they're going to say on this earth. It's just words. So, yeah, Israel, that's how I work. Like, dreams, tons of my dreams have came true, and to me, that is a gift. That's a blessing. And some people in my life have doubted dreams, and I'm sure you guys do too. Some of you guys, not everybody, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm saying that a lot of people doubt it, and maybe some of you guys do. I'll put it that way. And I'm just saying that I'm the type of person that I see the signs even in every little thing, even if it's a time on the clock and the time on the clock spelled a word. I would look at that as a sign. If the cloud spelled, to pray, I would look at that as a sign, even if it was just the shape of a heart. I look at everything as a sign. And I also was taught by my parents to see life like that. That, things don't just happen for a reason. It's all a sign when you're walking down the streets at night and you get a bad feeling, sometimes you stop and turn around. All these things are not for no reason, because what are these voices for? It's just to waste our time. I believe we should really listen to these things. Even if a voice comes in the morning and say, hey, call up your mom, call up your dad, see if they're all right. Call up this person and check on them. Something is wrong, and that has happened to me, and I swear. And of course, I ain't trying to prove it. I don't really care what people believe about me, whether I'm lying or not. I know there's a lot of liars out in this world, but with this, I'm being so real. Like, I've had a bad feeling, a really bad feeling. And someone came over me and said, pray. Which was at the time, it was my brother. And as something came to a voice, and I'm not literally, when I say a voice, people, don't mean I'm hearing a voice in my head. Doesn't mean I'm hearing voices. It's just a feeling. That's the best way I could explain it. Almost like your own thought, but something just comes to you. Like, okay, maybe you should do this. I'm sure everybody has it. Like, even if it's something like, oh, maybe I should just get waters just in case I get thirsty, Or maybe I should pack this just in case I get hungry while I go out. So it's not a literal voice, just saying. And not saying that I'm talking to God and God is talking back to me. It's not nothing like that. It's just a feeling. You could call it inspiration. You could call it a conscious. I don't know. But I literally got this feeling of something came over me. I believe it was in the middle of early in the morning or night. And I woke up. It was somewhere like that. And someone said, pray for your brother. Something is wrong. Pray for him. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pray for him. Hopefully he's okay. And then not that long afterwards, I heard that, he was sick. He was really sick. So I'm saying with these voices, you got to listen, like with these feelings, because I don't want people getting mixed up. You hearing some strange voices talking in your head, and you should pray against it, because you shouldn't be hearing things. But I'm just saying, like, if it's inspiration. And I've had this multiple times. I've had it with my own mother. Something told me, go check on her. I go check on her and she's feeling sick. I go check on her and she needs help. And that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes when you don't listen to these things, at least for me, I really pay for it, or I really regret not listening to it. Something told me, tells you, like, don't say this thing to a person. Could be like, don't call this person a name. Don't call this person an idiot. You say it, you regret it. You should always listen, to these things as long as it's right, to this inspiration. And my dreams have been the same way all my life. These dreams have come true. And it's not, I just want to tell you, dreams are not always in the form of how you perceive it. So in the dream, you can be doing something. Something can happen to you, but you can be another person. In a dream, it can be a garden. But in real life, this garden is a person. This garden is a situation. In a dream, it could be a snake that you're fighting off. But in real life, the snake is a human being that is fighting against you, an enemy. So I'm saying, don't take everything as literal. Really just weed out the dream. Make it make sense to your life. Like, okay, how does this make sense to my life? And then sometimes you'll find a puzzle. You could put it together. But sometimes you won't until it comes. So I've had dreams like, okay, I don't really understand this dream. And then later on, something will occur. A situation that's like, oh, this dream makes sense. I understand it now. And this meant this meant that. And yeah, so that's how I look for signs in my dreams. And that has been a big thing. I hold on to that as a gift from God. And Israel, I just wanted to, say a little bit about what's going on in this world. Like, we are going through the end times, revelations, everything that's been going on, was in Revelations, and it's crazy. And I just want to read some verses on it. Like, everything that has happened before, of how the generations and the people got destroyed before, is happening now. It's happening right now. So we're going to read it. But as the days of Noah were, so also were the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. And I believe they add the Son of Man in there. But I just believe it's the coming of God. But yeah, floods, people. Look at, even if it's not, okay, Noah's flood, it wiped out the entire earth. Who's to say this one isn't? But it's just a similarity. It's what's going on right now. It may not be wiping out the world, but it sure is wiping out parts of it. It's wiping out freaking countries, basically, or states. I mean, come on, look at it. People are getting flooded so bad that it's going up to the level of their cars. It's knocking down their homes and destroying it. People gotta literally travel through this water. It's going up high. That's what the floods are doing now, and then people don't even know really what's causing it. They could blame it on this and that, but I believe it's God 100%. Because why is this happening? And it's not even happening in the same places. It's happening all over the world in diverse places, in different countries, far away from each other, not even in the same place. So that has to be the work of God. And the way it's happening is crazy. It's almost like never before. And do you catch on to the fact that it's happening more often than it used to? It's like almost like you hear it now and it's almost like old news because it's happening so much. And not that you should ever let it become old news in your heart, because this is the end times. And just like my father said, that it's only going to get worse and worse from here. And he was talking about the year 2020, I believe, 2020 or 2021. But that's when he said that it's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. These years are not going to get better. So every year is going to get bad, especially with all these natural disasters, especially all the signs of God. So let me read another one. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. Are there not earthquakes, people, in diverse places? Yes, there are. And what else does it say? It's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, famines, and pestilences. And look at what is going on, people. You got all these freaking pestilence of all these bugs. Some you never even heard of before. Things falling out of the sky. Fish literally fell out the sky. And do you know that was one of my dreams that I had before? And they can lie and say, okay, oh, it was a tornado carrying fish. And for some odd reason it dispersed and it just rained on this place. I doubt it. I'm sorry, they'll have to give me the facts and prove it to me. But even so, what is the sign in that, if that were the case? Because to me, my God don't do nothing for no purpose. He's the one who made the tornado. They didn't make that. So obviously it's not just okay and safe, as they always try to make it on the news, that everything's jolly and happy. I'm not Christmas minded. So sorry. But I would say that what is, the sign in that, I had a dream a long time ago when I was young. And I told my father about that dream. I told everybody that a fish fell out of the sky and it was in my hands, and the scales on the fish was cutting into my hands and making it bleed. And so I think I threw the fish away, and my father told me that it sounds like it cutting into your hands is almost like, the blood is on your hands, like you need to warn about something. And so like it's happening now, and I'm wondering, like, is it that I need to warn that these are signs, these pestilence that's going on? Locust, literally, which I believe is flying around. If it's not locusts, it's different types of bugs, insects, look it up. It's flying around and taking over these places in hordes, destroying crops and everything else. Like, what is this all for? It don't matter whoever they blame it on. Who is it for? And all these insects carrying these diseases, these deadly diseases that's killing people. And you could blame it on, it's Bill Gates, his project or whatever he's doing. But who is in control? Again, God. Stop trying to make it light. Stop trying to make it that God didn't create Bill Gates and everyone else. So if they're doing it, why is God allowing them to do it? And why now? It's a sign of Revelations. And in Revelations, ever say how it was going to be done? Did he say it was not going to be through this person and that? All of us is God's creation. Remember that. So even if the earth shook, the earth is God's creation. It quaking was God's will. And even if somebody held out a gun and pointed it and shot it, that was God's will. He's the one that decreed that. So what I'm saying is that stop being in denial and trying to blame everything on this is that, this is this. It could be, everything but God. It's still God, losers. And I'm just talking about the people who don't believe. not insulting anybody who's a real believer. But people who just want to stay in denial because you want to go to sleep and then you're going to wake up in hell. Because then you're going to deny that until you win it. It's all happening now. You can't deny the signs. Because ain't the floods happening? Ain't the great earthquakes happening? How long you going to deny? What, until it gets bad, until it destroys your place? You still want to believe. Somehow, everyone did it but God. Somehow the government, somehow the Gentiles, they have the technology. AI did it. It's always going to be blamed on something else besides the one who created you and the entire universe and already had everything planned out before you were born. See, my God is amazing. Don't know what you worship, but you worship humans and people that don't even know that these things are going to take place. And the only way that they know it is that they have the real version of the Bible. The one that wasn't infiltrated. The one that they didn't put lies in, that kept the original one. That is the only way they can predict things. And people need to start tripping over that. Well, The Simpsons, it's predicting this and that. How is it doing that? Because that is already the Illuminati's plan. And for them, how twisted they are to put it into a sick cartoon tells you how cartoon and dumb-minded these demons and devils are. They're stupid. But they put this in there so they can deceive you that they're in charge. They're doing this. They're predicting that. So when God does anything, you're going to look towards them. And they become your God. But nah, they already know certain things are going to take place. It's already a part of their agenda, people. So just like anything they predict of murders or anything they predict of, evil sacrifices or whatever they put into these cartoons is because they already have the plan, and you realize how wicked these Gentiles are. And they cannot predict anything God is going to do besides if he said he was going to do it in his books and his revelations. So that is what we are reading right now. So famines, pestilence, earthquakes. You see people are having famine. That's why prices, just to me, is going up sky high. Things are dying, plants, crops, everything. People are running low on it. And you know what other people are running low on? The most devastating thing, which is water. So waters are drying up, which is a part of Revelations as well. All these things are in the books. We're going to read further. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. So God is saying that these things are going to take place, but it is not the end of the world. Meaning that the end is still coming, but between that, before that, you're going to hear all these things about wars. And what did he say? You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. That only leads me to believe that some of these wars that they say is going on, something about it is fake, is made up. And some of these that you hear about is real. It's actually happening. Maybe some of the made up ones is they're just thinking this is about to go on. It's just staged. Some of these things that they do, stop wholeheartedly believing in it. Some of these things are staged, but not all of it. Because there's actually people who are injured, children, women, men, who are injured, hurt, going through, and wars actually taking place. And it's going to get worse. It's going to come here. It's going to come everywhere. And this is what God says, don't be alarmed about it. These things must happen. It's going to happen. You see it going on. God is already telling you it's going to go on. The only thing you can do is prepare. And the only way you can prepare is preparing the inside and out. So you prepare as much as you can on this earth to protect you and your family. But the most thing you should prepare is the inside, because that's the only way you're going to protect you on this earth and in the next life when you die. Because no matter what, you cannot escape death. And the way you are going to die, you cannot escape. So if you were meant to die in war, that is what's going to happen to you. If your family member is, that is what is going to happen to them. So the first thing you should be doing is what? Looking forward to saving yourself and your family, saving yourself, your soul, and their souls. Because then you're going to have to worry about the next life and the war of what you've done wrong and what you've done right, and how it's going to balance on the scales of whether you make it to heaven or you're going to burn in hell for eternity. And then the next thing is, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So you already see, you literally know that the river Euphrates is drying up. You literally know that. How can you close an eye to that when this was already predicted? You're so worried about, what the Simpsons predicted, but what did God already say was going to happen? Why does that not excite you? Why does that not concern you? You're always concerned about the stupidity other people are doing, these Gentiles are into, but you're not concerned about what God literally said before all of them. This is what literally got put in there directly. And you see it happening now. It's like, my goodness, what is that going to take? And you still can't bow down. You still don't believe that the rest is going to happen. And you already see that the list is being checked off. Well, God is going to make sure everything is checked off that list. And the next one is, and Jesus shall be a sign for the coming of the hour of judgment. Therefore have no doubt about the hour, but follow ye me. This is a straight way. And this verse comes from another book. But is it on point? Yes, it is. Jesus is literally a sign. Did you not see the crosses that these lights make in the sky that people are seeing? Do you not see that? If it's real, you better be worried. Because, what did I just say earlier? The list is being checked off. That's the sign of the coming of the hour. That means after that sign is, you know what's coming. You know what the hour is. It's the end times. It's where you're going to be judged, where you're going to be in front of hell. You might be in it. Are you going to make it into heaven? Which majority of the world, let me remind you, is not going to make it. So are you going to make it, huh? Have you got your life straight? Are you focused on everyone else? You focused on gossiping? You focused on finding a problem? Because that's what a lot of people on here do. You're still stuck, Israel, on finding a problem with each other. You're so stuck far up your own butt that you can't see reality. And I'm just saying, Israel, stop. Stop being so stuck in your own problems. Find a way to strengthen yourself. Find a way to make peace. Find a way to get along. If you say you want to go to Israel, you say you want to make it to heaven, but you obviously don't, because you ain't fit for it. What you fit for is chaos. And you know where chaos goes? You're going to see a lot of that in hell. People screaming, ripping at each other. People are going to be fighting, arguing, screaming, crying. All types of torments is going to be happening. You fit right in. Don't you love, a wild party? Don't you love, being intoxicated, where you're going to be real freaking drunken and burning in there? You're going to be really confused, running around, bumping into everybody. Just like a drunk person. And then you like to be freaking fornicate? Well, them hot red irons, like people dreamed of, and everything's going to be shoved up you. That's what you love, right? You just love to freaking be with a bunch of different people. Or be with a bunch of different torments. And then you love, to deny, but you ain't going to be able to escape. Try to escape the fire, you can't. Going to be shoved right back in there where you deserve. And you love to make problems. You love to see scandal amongst the believers. You love to separate and divide where you're all going to be squished together. Argue and blame and fighting in the fire. And if you're going to be divided, you're going to be secluded by yourself, upside down, confined in the fire. Have fun. You ain't made for heaven acting like that. People in heaven don't argue. People in heaven don't fornicate. They pure. People in heaven don't lie. People in heaven don't deny God's signs. They paid attention to them, and that's how they got there. They were kind and loving and made peace. That's how they got there. You are going to be shown the reflection of yourself in this earth and in the next life, in the hereafter. If you are a bitch, life is going to be a bitch. If you are wicked, a murderer, that's all you're going to meet in life. And in torment in the hereafter is going to be hell, which is, that's a killer. You're a worse murderer than you are. So if you want to make it, think about what heaven is about. What is paradise of? Who's in it? Nobody unclean. Nobody going to be partying and slutting around in there. It's going to be all decent and moral. Sorry to you if you think it's boring. If you want some entertainment, Netflix ain't in the fire. But you sure want to have entertainment, hollering and screaming. Don't you like ain't that what you like to do at concerts? Holler and scream. You just mimic the fire all the way, don't you? Well, good luck being in there. So all these things is taking place. And what do we have that is going to come to pass? Because some of these things already came to pass. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And we don't know, has this already happened or not? Think about the concept. Something that people take so lightly. The moon has become more red. We've been having what do you call that? When the moon becomes red? Blood moons. We've been having that more often, have we? More than once a year now. And eclipses. Sun becoming black. Now, I don't know if this is when the sun is completely shut out forever, or whether he means for a moment. But could that be another sign that has already taken place? But maybe, certain things are already signs, like the eclipse in the blood moon. And maybe it's building up, because here it says there was a great earthquake and the sun became black and the moon became as blood. So maybe it's that great earthquake. And what has Earth been doing? Trembling, trembling, trembling. Constantly. So we're going to have that big earthquake. I know America is not ready, but you're about to sink. I know a lot of you countries is not even realizing, but you're about to sink. If you haven't already. A lot of ships is about to sink. Because these great earthquakes, these floods, and everything that is about to happen, where do you run to? Nowhere. You cannot escape. That's why, what is the point in trying to live your life here? Try to live your life now. Everything is going to perish. It's only going to be a moment. You could live 100 years and you still will regret your life when you're in hell. What does it matter? It was all temporary. It was all for a moment. That's why the only thing that matters is getting your soul together, because that is wherever your soul goes for eternity. You love cool air conditioning, don't you? You love to drink water. You love to eat. You know that. You could say, Dale, I get bored of eating. I want to do something new. But when your stomach growls, what you going to look for? Some food, ain't you? You could say, I'm tired of water. It's boring. But when you get real thirsty, what you going to look for? Water? Soda? Juice? Well, ain't none of that in hell. You ain't going to have nothing to look for but some hot boiling water. Ain't going to cool your tongue. It's going to burn it. It's going to singe it. There ain't going to be no air conditioner. You're going to be hot. And it's going to be worse than any heat. The heat is getting worse here. It's burning and melting cars, people. It's melting cars. And I know that can't register in your head. You're so caught up in your fantasy world, but it's melting cars. I wish that I can tell you enough. It's killing people. It's going way overboard with the degrees, and they're lying to you on the news of what degrees it is. Just look in your homes and see what degrees is, and then those things is off. You know when something is way more hotter. I went outside for 3 seconds and I felt like I had to throw up. Couldn't even stand out there for too long. Dangerous. So you meaning to tell me you hate the heat here, but you can throw a party in hell? My goodness. And you can say, oh, you like that heaven is boring, but dang, you sure do love living this life. Don't you? You love to sleep. You love to, whatever you like to do. You love to have a house where you can sit at, where you're comfortable, safe, and protected. You love to have riches and wealth and gardens, but for some reason the earth is fun. But heaven, which is way grander, beyond your, imagination, is going to be boring to you. Don't you know that God knows what you love? And you know what you love is being twisted by the devil in your mind playing a game with you. He twists his own desires within you. Do you ever notice that one day you'd have a feeling that something you want to do and the next day you don't? That's called different demons getting on you when it's wickedness. When one day you might feel like, you want to fornicate, and the next day you don't. You want to get yourself together with God. When you see the punishment, suddenly all these feelings that you had on you flies out of you. Because it was never yours. You're claiming it though, and so you're going to have to go to hell with him. And all I'm saying, Israel, is stop claiming that. There are things that God places on you, which is natural desires. You may want a house for comfort. You may want, to laugh and enjoy with your family. God will, place these things in the next life. You may want to get married. That you think that all these things, you're just going to be staring at each other, biting on fruit. That's how they like to portray it, sitting on clouds. Heck no. If you want a freaking car, I'm sure God got better rides than freaking whatever the expensive cars are here now. If you want, you into name brand clothes, God ain't about gloating, but if that is what you want, if you just want to wear something because it looks nice, well, those things are far better and beyond in heaven. You ain't got to worry about working a job 24/7. You ain't got to worry about paying bills or rent. Or your water bill being cut off. Your lights. You ain't got to worry about every corner you turn, somebody gonna shoot you in the face. So is this what you're calling boring because you ain't got to worry about these things no more? You're free from it? Is that what you're calling boring? Because I'm sorry. If you want to live that type of wicked life, then I'm sorry, you are made for the fire. Nothing I can do for you there. So I would go on, Israel. It is very long. And I'm going to read a few more. I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a white horse. His rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror bent on conquest. When the Lamb opened the 2nd seal, I heard the 2nd living creature say, "Come." Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. His rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make people kill each other. To him was given a large sword. So, people, what is happening right now? Do you watch the news? Because I do. My family does. What is going on when you read the news? Tell me, positive or negative? It's negative. What's going on? People killing each other, right? Suddenly parents are killing their children, and suddenly couples are killing each other, and suddenly children are killing their parents. killing is a worldwide common thing right now. And you can say, that's been happening. It's happening far, 1,000 times worse than it was happening before. You don't have to worry and walk outside around a 3-year-old and hope he don't have a gun behind his back. That's how bad life is getting. Ain't nobody innocent. I don't care what you say. These kids is dangerous as long with adults. And you gotta watch out and be careful with everybody. You gotta watch attentively. You cannot be a person, and this is what my father and my mother taught me. You cannot be a person where you keep your head down and you don't look behind you. Do you know what's happening to people? People are missing in states and countries right now because they're not paying attention to their surroundings. And I'm not saying that, some of them weren't or a lot of them were, maybe. But you definitely got to pay attention if you want any fighting chance. People are getting snatched up and placed in back of vehicles, kidnapped. Where are all these missing people going? Where are all these missing children going? What are they doing? What do you heard the business? People is taking people's organs out. People is doing all types of things in Israel. I'm just saying, when you go outside, this is what my family taught me. You look to the left, you look to the right, you look straight in front of you, and out the corner of your eye, you look behind you. If anybody's walking around, you look at them indirectly. Don't directly look at them because then they're going to take it as a threat. Nowadays, just looking over will get you killed. Nowadays, just an argument will get you shot. So what I'm saying, Israel, beware. Look around. Don't matter if it's a kid. If that kid's looking suspicious, you watch out. You make sure that you be careful. You avoid, big crowds of people. You avoid where somebody is looking around suspicious, and even if they're not. Because nowadays on the news, I'm being real. Some people, if I would have sold them on any street, I would have thought they were innocent. I was like, they wouldn't do that. But yeah, yes, they will. That's what they're doing. So Israel, what I'm saying is, look around you. Don't be in la la land. This is what my parents always told me. Don't be la 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 down the street. Don't be la la la, into your phone. Having music in your ears is, no offense, is the dumbest thing you can do outside. Walking around with music in your ears is not the smartest thing, and it's what I tell my own self. You can do that at home. And even at home, don't blast it where you can't hear anything, because then what if somebody comes and he shoots you in the back of the head and steal your stuff? You wouldn't be able to hear. That's why it's dangerous having these virtual headsets. You're going to be so engulfed in playing the game, everything in your house going to be sold in your house because you wasn't paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention. You in these days now where people don't care about each other. It's whoever can get to who first. So I'm just saying that people ain't human no more, man. Just care about yourself. I ain't there to protect you. I ain't there to tell you. So I just got to tell you here, just look around. Do whatever it takes for your safety, for you and the people you love, your family, And Israel, I know I'm rambling on, but that is one of the things that is going on. So I'm just saying. We go read the next one. When the Lamb opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Then I heard what sounded like a voice come among the 4 living creatures, saying, 2 pounds of wheat for a day's wages, and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine. And I am not 100% sure, but if I'm getting it correctly, this one was about how much things are going to be in the end times. Prices are shooting up. My goodness. You hear the story about the strawberries, of how much they are starting to price these things is too much. To get oil for your car, to get food is like, oh my goodness, it's a lot when it used to be so cheap back then. Now prices are going up. Prices on houses, bills, rent, everything. Everybody's ending up homeless. Everybody's on the verge of homelessness. What is going on? You know what's going on? You're in the end times. That's going to keep going on. So, Israel, my God, there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is pray. Keep yourself straight. If I'll just say, if you got anything that you can, prepare with, maybe you should. If God, helps you to be as lucky and fortunate to have your own land, you better be growing some stuff and preparing, just giving little hints out what you should do. You really should start thinking about that now, because there is no time to now. And also, if you're in the city, you just got to do whatever you can. But the most you got to do is you better be praying to God. That's the only thing we can do, people. Pray to God. There ain't nothing. I understand how hard times is right now. I understand that sometimes you just can't make the way. You got to wait on God to do it. Sometimes you can't move until God wants you to. So I'm just saying the only thing you can do is pray. It's the intention it counts. You don't want to be amongst these Gentiles and these sinners. You want to, if you had a choice, you go to Israel. You want to be around your own believing people. You want to, you would want, to prepare. You would want to do these things. Well, only thing you can do is do what you literally can, and then you got to rely on God. But that's all of us. We got to have faith in God. God can take anything from you in a minute. So don't think anything you got is going to last forever. And that's for anybody who have anything. If you got land, if you got whatever provisions God gave you, don't be so arrogant to think it's going to last. It ain't. It can if God wills it, but don't become arrogant. That's all I can say. So the next one. When the Lamb opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They are given power over a fourth of the earth to kill by sword, famine, and plague, and by the wild beast of them. So all these things are scary. And I cannot remember the exact phrases my father used. But how I see this verse is the pale horse could be sicknesses. Do you know all these sicknesses and things that's going on? These things are plagues to me. I don't know what it is to you, but I think these are plagues. And what I'm saying is, like, you can't escape it when it comes. But if it comes on, and then if you end up with it, you better make sure you right before you get it. You better make sure you doing what's right. And that's in general, because anytime you can go. And I don't know. I'm just saying these things is from God. Don't believe what anyone else is telling you. No, that is from God. And that's one of the things my father told me before he passed was, these sicknesses, know that this is coming from that planet. Know that this is not normal. The heat, everything is coming from that planet. What followed, before him was what? Or followed close was what? Hades, right? Was following close behind the rider on the pale horse. And what is in the sky, for you who know, it's Hades, it's the fire. You see pits of things that look like it's red and sparkling in the sky. What is that? That's fire. It's something high. You look, you can feel it with your camera and you see heat signatures. You can't lie to yourself. That is not what it is. Hades is literally coming. And death is also, you see death happening all around. So many people are dying every day. And I'm just saying, one day we all gotta go to that grave. And it is scary. It is scary to think about. It's something that we hate to think about. But it is either one thing, one or two things. You're either gonna face it and do something so you can feel more safer when you go, or just do nothing and you already know where you're going when everything goes down. It's like, at least have some sort of hope. And when you see people who believed and actually was trying to do the right, that you even have some sort of hope for them. But the ones who was into drugs, partying, and doing everything under the sun, there ain't no hope in you, even if you want it. And they possibly went somewhere you didn't want them to go, But you lie to yourself. You rock yourself to sleep because you're scared. That's what it is, people. You're scared. And I understand it is scary, but we cannot keep living our lives where we fear and then do nothing about it. That's not going to take away what's coming. You cannot take away death, and we know that. We see people dying. It's not because they want to. It's because they have to when God says so. So you mean to tell me that there's nothing you can do about it, in the sense of you can't even try to get yourself straight? So if you go, then maybe, just maybe, you'll have hope. To me, hope is better than nothing. It is. It's like if you went to jail and somebody told you that you have hope to get out of here in a week, rather than someone saying you have hope that you would never see the day of light again. I mean, I said that backwards, but the light of day again. Which one is better? If somebody offered that, which one is better? That you may could get out in a week, or you have to stay in here forever for the rest of your life till you die. Well, then that's the decision you're making, you know. When you know that you have to die and you keep sinning. It's like someone told you gotta stay in jail for the rest of your life, and then afterwards you're gonna get executed on this day. That's you choosing to go to the fire and not doing nothing about it. Either way, you gotta go to jail. Either way, it's scary, but at least maybe I could get out in a week, you know? So either way, you're gonna die. Either way, but at least maybe after death, after the scariness of, the initial death, then maybe there's a better place that's for eternity that you can go to, that don't have all the miserable things you gotta go through on this earth. And I'm sorry, I know people glamorize this world, but I'm done with glamorizing this place, man. I'm grateful that I'm here, that the Lord put me here, but I believe He put us here for a reason, and that's to get ourselves straight. And now I'm gonna cut this short. But Israel, what is gonna happen next? We got a lot of things that's coming next. The stars is going to fall from the sky to the earth. The mountains is going to fall down. And I mean, it's going to be like dust. It's going to be gone. Just, falling down. And you're going to be in front of God, What I'm saying, Israel, we still got some seals that it don't seem like entirely is open yet. So while it's not, Israel, I plead with you while you're still breathing. Because it's even over after you can't breathe no more when you're on the other side. Israel, why you're still alive? Get yourself straight, please. And this is I'm pleading with you. Come on, we all want to make it. Ain't no problem. Ain't your arrogance, your pride ain't worth burning. A quick satisfaction that you want out of this life is not worth it. Fornication, drinking, drugs. It's destroying you anyway. It's not worth it. Really, just think about it. You're depressed. Sometimes you're doing these things just because you're depressed, because you're trying to cope. And what I'm saying is, stop listening to this. Stop listening to these so-called friends who's telling you and inviting you to evil. You gotta come and believe, Israel. You gotta come. Come over to God's side, please. He got His hand extended out. That hand is gonna glow soon. That hand is gonna go back up. And you ain't gonna have nothing but darkness. And you're gonna be for eternity feeling that pain. It's gonna scare you that, these things I'm saying scares you. So you're gonna run and want to turn it off. You want to leave. Your spirit don't hear any of this. It's ruining your fun, but I'm sorry, your party is gonna end soon. Anyway, so if you don't want to listen to what I have to say or what anybody else got to say, just know that you're going to have to face it anyway. When you face it, it's going to be far worse than these words. And you're going to wish that you listened to these words and got yourself together. You're going to wish so. But Israel, peace. And I'm just saying, to those who seek a problem between us, and I'm talking about me and my family, we ain't going to be about problems no more. And what I mean is, whatever problem you got ain't ours. Peace to you. We don't want. We is going to just believe and do what's right. We going to admonish you. We going to tell you what's right, but we ain't looking to fight and argue. We done. Hopefully, if God wills, we done. And whoever of you is trying to separate and divide, if God wills, you are not going to succeed, devil. You are not going to succeed, devil. keep trying. And then God is going to punish you for what you're trying to do. We going to be together. And for you out there who's trying to make us do things that Rap did not do when he was alive, again, trying to make a separation, again, trying to pull us apart, you're not. If God wills, we are going to follow in the footsteps of our leader, Rap the News. This is heaven. Peace.